Here's the problem with addiction. I chose this picture because if you dive, it's kind of nice. Yeah. How many people dive? Yeah. Okay. So this is what you want to see when you're diving. But at the same time, it's kind of spooky. And that's kind of what fears are like. It's not a big thing, but it gets bigger. So this fear is driving on the decision making. That's the dynamic. And then it starts to look like when you see a person, an addict, they don't come in diagrammed like this, but this is what's going on. See, it's bigger now. It's starting to take over. Fear is starting to control decision making and everything. It's getting cattywampy. Structural drift. Boom. And almost anybody you talk to who's got a long-term addiction problem is going to tell you, yeah, this is how it feels. After a while, heroin starts out like a vacation in, a fancy hotel in a beautiful place. But pretty soon you're just getting up and thinking, I have to have a shot. And then I have to have money. It's a tough taskmaster, actually. And this is what you're thinking of every day. How do I stay safe? How do I control the pain? 13 years old on average, in my experience, anesthetics are discovered. Probably because the body changes with, pituitary changes. But suddenly, drugs are exciting. Alcohol is meaningful. I've had a lot of people tell me the first time I felt comfortable or normal was when I had my first drink or my first meth. And you get these compensatory defenses here. This is what's presented. And partly why countertransference is such a problem, because the presentation is the reverse of the underlying situation. The presentation is, I have it all together, you may have some problems. Or I know what I'm doing. I think the judge is a little out of it, though. So those kinds of things as a therapist are a little irritating. And you have to kind of control your own dynamics. And remember that it's compensation underneath. This is how they feel. They're scared and confused. Whoops. Okay, here's tolerance. What happens is that the body stops making as much endorphin, good-feeling molecules, because they're expensive, they're complex molecules. And the body says, hey, we're getting an outside supply. What are we making them for? Now, the person has less inside, so they need more on the outside. The body says, well, we're getting a lot of this stuff. Let's just cut down production. Now, there has to be an incredibly big flow of pain reliever coming in from the outside. Meth, heroin, marijuana, alcohol, whatever it is. That's tolerance. Now, it's a trap. Because look, this is how they started. They weren't feeling that good to begin with. They just wanted to get up here a little bit, have a walk in the woods, a sunshiny day. That's all they were looking for. But now, because their bodies cut down production, they may be spending $500 a day on pain relievers, so to speak, and they're stuck here. Now the police stop them and say, excuse me, do you have some stuff in your car? And then they go to jail. Now that is tough, because they weren't feeling that good to begin with. Now they don't have an outside supply of pain reliever, and they don't have their normal inside supply of endorphins. They're hurting. So how does this play out in the family? And how does it start? Because as soon as you talk to somebody with an addiction, if you talk to their family, it's related, it's similar, it's kind of connected. It's the old systems theory thing. So complexity theory gives us one hint as to what happens. But somewhere in there, the example I have is great-grandpa was traumatized in World War I. Well, he comes home and he drinks, he doesn't really have time for the kids, and they then don't have quite time for their kids, and a little short-tempered maybe, and then here we go. Great-grandson Jimmy III doesn't get the love, attention, patience he needs to function. So there's the start. It's just, a roll of the dice, and then the domino process.